Next Pro Gaming Series 2015
Welcome.
Summer Promotionals. Again, ako po ay si GS Azray na may ay at kasama ko po ngayon ay si...
Grabe talaga tinagalog mo ha. Again, hi, thank you very much, Azuray, sa napakagandang pag-welcome from you. So, you're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2015 Spring Season. We have the promotion match for today.
Yes.
And I think this is against between the team Empire at ng Betrayal.
Yeah, Empire X versus J2 Esports Betrayal. So game 1, nanalo na ang J2. So congratulations to J2 and also to congratulate again Naga Esports for winning their best of 3 series.
Okay.
Summer season, sorry.
Correction lang, summer season pala, hindi pala tayo spring season. So yes, since summer season na tayo, tama nga naman, summer na. Bakasyon na ng mga player natin ngayon, no?
Tama.
So ikaw, kamusta naman yung study mo ngayon before tayo mag-proceed sa ating game?
Study? Okay naman. I mean,
Bakasyon nyo na rin ba?
Yeah, actually bakasyon na lang. Parang ano na lang, ano sabihin to? Preparation for graduation. Pero
Yes!
di pa ako mag-graduate kasi
mag-graduate.
mag-Octoberian ako eh.
Octoberian. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is it. The first ban for the members of the Empire dito. We have Zion and Jarvan the fourth. Nag-iisipan nila kung sino yung third ban nila dito. So far for Betrayal, we have Morgana, Lysandra, and Kog'Maw.
Yes. I'm not sure actually why they banned out the Morgana, Lysandra, and Kog'Maw. So maybe game 1 they were essential picks. And of course, Lysandra still very strong, even though if her in the 5.5 and the other patches, her Q has been nerfed in terms of damage. She's still one of those very strong initiators and assassins that a team can use.
I wonder what happened, no? Medyo kulang ng isang ban yung team ng Empire dito. So, siguro
Strategy
possible na well,
strategy.
possible ang strategy dito. But the first pick sa Giovanni is one of the best idea. I mean, a good idea for the Empire dito, no? To go against J2 Esports Betrayal. Sobrang viable nitong si Giovanni ngayon for this the current meta na meron tayo.
True. But based on yung matches between Naga and Zen and friends a while ago, with Zen using his jungle Sejuani in those 2 games, hindi siya naging sabihin super effective because he was always being counter jungled early on, kaya hindi siya naging parang super efficient jungler as a ganker nung nag-level 6 siya kasi sobrang delayed ng level 6 niya eh. So we'll see if J2 Betrayal will try to do something similar to what Naga was doing against CNF.
Well, knowing Empire dito, no, this is the first time makikita natin sila sa competitive scene natin. So right now, I think Betrayal ay medyo kumakapapa kung paano nila tatansyahin yung strategy na magagaling dito from the team Empire. We'll see kung anong gagawin nila. Empire as well, no, knew na ano yung mga possible na lineup na magagaling dito from Betrayal. So I think Zion and Jarvan Fort is one of the good idea na ba nila dito sa champion nila.
Yes, very true. Now, Rek'Sai and Sejuani, both junglers, interchangeable. But in my opinion, Sejuani would be a better laner against well
with these 2 champions, no?
Yeah, it's interchangeable naman sila. I've tried doing a lane Rek'Sai, but mas maganda talaga siya is in terms of jungling because level 3 pa lang. He has such a good jungle clear time and such aggressive level 3 ganks na talagang mas effective siya for jungle. So it would make sense na Sejuani would go in for a top lane role na lang. Because once you can just farm up and level 6 pa lang, get in possibly a Righteous Glory, charge in, get the ultimate in, and then Rek'Sai follows up for damage, and then they have the mid lane Lux, actually, if you can see right here, which would line up perfectly with a Glacial Prison into that final spark.
A good burst coming from their team dito.
Yes,
we are seeing a Lux pick for their team. So, gaya ng sinabi mo, I think in my opinion, we have Rek'Sai dito that could go for the jungle role. Which is, well, mas effective siya for the jungle dito kasi makakapagtanim siya ng maraming bahay bata or yung kanyang yung kanyang tunnel dito to gank any lanes kasi kapag nasa top lane siya, hindi niya matatanim yung mga bahay bata na yun in any other lane. Kahit mag-attempt siya ng gank sa bottom lane, parang sobrang sayang yung kapag gamit niya ng skills dito.
But as you can see right now, I just noticed. Okay, there we go. Sinira niya when he was going for the going for the Ahri. Both of these 2 teams almost have all girls.
Champions. Sayang, almost. Pwedeng konting adjust na lang for Twisted Fate dito, no? Magiging all girls na tayo. Pero looking at their lineup, we have Nami, Vi, Twisted Fate, and Irelia. A very effective lineup for their team dito, no? Irelia as well at the top lane, still a very strong champion up to this moment. So ano kayo mangyayari to sa laban nila against sa Giovanni?
Yeah. If they actually force a Sejuani top lane, Sejuani would definitely lose to the Irelia if she doesn't get any assist from the jungle, or if Empire X doesn't initiate a lane swap. Again, they're going in for a Twitch. I believe nakita ko ng game 1, it was a Twitch ADR for...
Kung makikita mo sa profile itong si Killer Trindamere, itong si Twitch ay yung top most pick champion niya. Even in the last season, lagi ko nakakasalubong solo queue to. Road to Challenger, talagang Twitch lang yung ginagamit niya. So, no, I think no Twitch for today. So, Graves muna siya. And I think, right now, no, hindi ganoon na napipick talaga si Twitch sa current meta natin eh.
Though it would actually be a good complement champion sa composition nila na get in the Glacial Prison, Final Spark for damage, and then Ratatat for additional damage. But then Graves, similar playstyle na collateral damage, buckshot, tapos he has the true grit for tankiness just in case na ma-focus siya because Twitch is super squishy.
So, advantage lang dito in the bottom lane is, well, for the members of Empires, they have the burst that they need to secure a kill dito. While the Betrayal, they have Corkes, they carry more on a champion na nagre-rely sa matagal na trading dito. So, they have to poke damage that they need. They have Irelia to initiate a team fight, to stun a champion, and to pick up the for their team.
Yes. I'm really curious to see what Empire X would do against the Irelia top lane because I'm really confident that Irelia would win against the Sejuani. Pero na siguro, again, kung magkaroon ng sobrang focus si Empire Tam sa top lane. So, we'll see.
I think if itong si Sejuani mag-focus more sa kanyang tanky items instead of building the damage item, which is ineffective for a top lane Sejuani dito, I think mahihirapan din naman ng konti itong si Irelia to burst him down. But yes, gaya na sinabi mo, sure na mananalo siya sa laning phase unless magawa ng paraan itong Empire na ma-outplay siya as well as with the help coming from Rek'Sai later on.
Yes, also, if you'd actually look at it, they did, J2 Betrayal did get in that Vi pick. Vi does have a good amount of damage level 3 pa lang with those denting blows every third hit. Does break your armor and has percentage of your max HP as damage. So they could
the Milli Vayne.
The Milli Vayne. You could say that they could do two strategies with this. Get in the okay, so may nagpakitang araw dun sa gilid natin, the yellow sun. Okay. Okay, so they could go in for a strategy na Vi could get in for a dragon first or force some flashes and then just farm up until you get level 6 and then instant gank agad because there's a lot of potent ganks in every lane. Vi in the bottom lane, assault and battery, pagka knock up, bubble agad dinami, isolated for like 2 to 3 seconds. That's all the time that they need to get a kill. For the mid lane, stun card ni Twisted Fate first or assault and battery first, follow up na lang, kill again. For the top lane, Equilibrium Strike and same story follows. But then as for the Empire X, in my opinion, magaling compliment ni Rek'Sai sa Braum because when Braum gets one hit and starts that countdown to get the stun, Rek'Sai has that Queen's Wrath which is yung Q, which is a faster, para sabihin auto attack na magkakaroon ng mas mabilis na chance para makapag-stun. Yung mas stun yung na-target ni Braum rather. And mid lane, pag na-knock up agad, follow up yung light binding, lose integrity, final spark. As for the top lane, nandun na yung lock up ni Sejuani. They just have to parang capitalize on that. So, both of these teams have such good synergy with all of their compositions. So, titignan na natin ang mangyayari.
Yes, indeed. With the crowd control that they have dito, no? It's all about the follow-up na mangyayari from their teammates to the synergy, like what you've said kanina. For the members of J2 Esports Betrayal, a good idea coming from their lineup dito, they have a Twisted Fate that could surely gank a lane dito once na makita nila na si Vi ay gumagank din dito. So they can push another lanes as well kapag nagkataon na nanalo sila or nakapag-succeed sila sa pagkuha ng gank na yun. They could get the Dragon as well as soon as they reach level 6. Both Vi and Twisted Fate dito. Well, as of the moment, no, sa meta natin ngayon, hindi na naghihintayan mag-level 6. Vi can solo the dragon when she reaches level 3. Uh, I think dito sa lineup ng Betrayal and Empire, um, malaking factor dito for the both teams dito ay talagang yung kanilang pag-execute ng mga skills nila. So kapag may nagkamali lang na isa, medyo may nahuli lang ng paggamit ng skills niya, mahirapan sila makabawi sa mga teamfight na mangyayari.
Yes, very true. And guys, before we get into the game, we will be back after a very, very short break. And we are back. Again, this is the Gamex Pro Gaming Series 2015 Summer Promotionals. This is a best of 3 series between Gamex... Oh, sorry. Sanay na ako.
Yes.
Empire X. May X din kasi. And J2 Esports Betrayal. J2 Esports Betrayal already have that 1 point for themselves. So this is game 2 na. Alright, so for Empire X, we have Empire Karosu for the top lane. Sejuani. Empire Tam will be our jungle Rek'Sai. I'm just gonna say that as Kai, yung Lux, cause ang hirap i-pronounce yung name niya.
Kai na lang, Kai.
Yeah, Kai na lang. So it will be Kai for the mid lane Lux, Killer Tryndamere will be for the bottom lane ADR Graves, and Love Cannon will be the support Braum.
Yes, for J2 Esports Betrayal, we have Takas na. Betrayal Takas na for Ariel. On the top lane, we have Darthus. Tama ba? Darthus for Vi in the jungle. We have Eco Cat for the Twisted Fate in the mid lane. We have as well, syempre, Sativ 4 for Corky as an AD carry role, and si Fade para sa kanila support as Nami.
Yeah. Medyo may natandaan lang ako. Parang yung Hon days pa before LoL wasn't so popular. Fade. Yung sa Heroes of Night.
Si Fade yung champ,
na may
hero na kapag gumamit siya ng ultimate skill niya ay parang nagkakaroon siya ng sight na malaki tapos lalakad siya.
Assassin type.
Assassin champion.
Nakaka-nostalgic.
Reminisce. Anyway, so for this lineup, no, like what you said kanina, it's all about the execution of their skill. So laning phase tayo ngayon. Walang lane swap for the top lanes and the bot lane. So in your opinion, what might happen dito sa laning phase sila?
We're going to see if Empire Karosu can use his, let's say, cooldowns well. Because on level 1, I'm pretty sure that he's going to get his Flail of the Northern Winds, which is yung kanyang W, which deals first hit, max HP ng kalaban, and then yung kanyang twirl is yung max HP mo na. I believe that's it. And I can deal good damage onto Takas, but then Takas has a very good amount of defensive stats then. And really, I'm just waiting to see, because if Takas na does freeze his lane, Empire Karosu will have a very difficult time to, let's say, farm and get levels.
Yes, I think in terms of teleport din, pag nagkataon na nagsabay si Karosu and si Takas na, the damage output that they could give is very huge dito, having Irelia as one of their champions. But how pinag-usapan natin kanina, no? Sa Sejuani champion, in terms of the trading, luging-lugi talaga siya. Kasi yung skills lang na mabibigay niya dito, he can just push him back, knock up itong si Irelia. While Irelia can use the stun, the dive in, we have the ultimate skill na sobrang grabe yung burst damage that she could give against si Sejuani top lane.
Yeah, but ang nakikita ko na dito, yes, we were talking so much about yung kanilang 1v1 in the top lane, but if you look into yung kanilang teamfight potential, there's so much CC that Sejuani can do in a team fight that it could be beneficial for them na kahit man malugi siya sa top lane, she can still be beneficial in sa clashes.
Yeah, so far, no, in the top lane, we're looking at the trades na nangyayari sa kanila. As much as possible, sinusubukan ni Corozo na bigyan ng damage output itong si Takas na in the top lane to secure yung kanyang winning advantage to get the CS that she needs.
Yes. Also, though, Irelia, I forgot to mention, medyo may kulang siya sa damage spike. You have to wait, in my opinion, around level 9 bago magsimula yun, and have at least a Sheen. If you could get your Sheen before level 5, maybe that's the damage spike that you can do against, or have, to deal enough against Sejuani, because Sejuani is pretty tanky din naman early on. So, we'll see if good damage can be countered out by tankiness.
Yes, I just realized, no, with in terms of the lineup of Empire, they have the AoE, so much AoE crowd control and so much AoE damage as well. We have the Lucent, the ultimate skill coming from
Final Spark.
the Final Spark,
Yes.
as well as of course yung collateral damage coming from Graves later on. So, kapag na-timing nga na maayos talaga, no, we have the Glacial Prison, the knockup coming from a Rek'Sai mamaya, we'll see what might happen. So here comes the initiation coming from Echo Cut as well as Empire trying to mid lane dito. First blood for Twisted Fate and aiming for another kill dito for mid lane. And of course, Dardas managed to get away.
And while that was happening, Echo Cat used all of his summoner spells to try and get away, and he didn't. So there's a good chunk of time that he has no summoner spells to be able to escape the ganks of Rek'Sai. So he's going to be so dependent on using his wildcards to get farm, or have Darthus in the vicinity for a counter gank, if ever.
Kudos for both for both the junglers natin, no? So early to gank the mid lane. Both champions decided to go for the mid lane kaagad. As soon as they reach level 3. And of course, a good, sobrang sulit na gank coming from Tam kanina in the mid lane dito to burn 2 summoner spells in the first blood as well.
Yes. And, you can see here's itemization si Darthus. A skirmish. Oh, but
oh
here
my
comes
gosh, Takas na chasing
wow.
down Corozo dito. Corozo managed to get away. And ito na yung nakikita natin yung difference nila between these two champions. Right now, Corozo can only get a CS and hindi siya pwedeng lumapit ng sobra kay Takas na.
Yeah. Also, Darthus with the skirmisher saber. That's a first for me to see.
Yes, and Killer Tryndamere chasing down the two champions in the bottom lane, exhausted. Tryndamere and Satin forced well. A dive in, using his Valkyrie. Tryndamere will go down. A stun just in time. And of course, stopping Tam taking a lot of damage as well. Nag-proc na ang passive from Echo Cut. A good escape coming from Tam. Why did you go that way? I think mas maganda kung pumunta siya sa tower.
Yeah. Though Skirmisher Saber does deal 2 damage over time, it's not so damaging that you're going to die in yung early levels pa lang nun. Though, first let's talk about yung bottom lane. Madami kasi nangyari sa early game, sa early clash na yan. In the bottom lane, that was such a perfect bait from Killer Tryndamere with his support Braum. Na Braum put a, sabi natin, 2 stacks na ata dun kay Sativ. And when Sativ tried to go in over the Valkyrie, parang heal na lang bigla si Killer Tryndamere, procced yung stun, and then Buckshot got an instant kill onto Sativ. Though he did die, it was Fate who got a kill. So it wasn't a 1-for-1 for the ADR. So in my opinion, it's still going in favor of Killer Tryndamere because hindi nakabawi sa gold si Sativ with that kill.
Yes, and actually, after nung nangyari sa bottom lane dito, we have the 1-1 score for him, as well as a BF Sword that was a huge item for him. Yokai is being chased down by 3 members of Betrayal dito and is taking a lot of damage. Ginamit ang kanyang smite. And of course, Darius has been bursted down. Down trying to respond here in jungle. And of course, Fate will go down as well. And I think it's about time to get the first dragon of the game, of course, for the Empire.
I'm really curious kung why Darthus used, or rather bought, a Skirmisher
Sobrang
Saber.
nakakapagtaka nga.
Kasi,
naisip ko din bigla.
Yeah, kasi if he had the Chilling Smite from, well, yung Stalker's Blade, he could have gotten a kill instantly onto Kai there. He was so low in HP already na parang one Chilling Smite would have killed him off. He used the Skirmisher Saber, but you saw there, didn't deal enough
Parang
damage.
wala lang.
Tapos biglang na-caught up siya with a light binding into the final spark. Tapos biglang nag-follow up na lang bigla si Empire Tam. He died immediately and wow. Just using that Glacial Prison para hindi mag-recall si Takas na.
Talagang nanlamig si Takas na doon ng top lane dito with the use of that Glacial Prison. So right now, Tito Trinamir is being very aggressive in the bottom lane, using the burst damage that he has. And of course, another kill in the bottom lane. And yet again, they're chasing down Tam. Tam will go down. With the smite coming from Dartas. It's a 1-1 exchange, but I think it's still in favor of Empire because in the bottom lane, we have the 2 assists.
Yes, and still, Empire is getting kills onto their ADR. The more they give kills to Killer Tryndamere, the more the Graves, let's say, damage spike will come earlier. And the more that Sativ, let's say, gets shut down, the more they have to work hard for him to get his mid-game damage spike, which is yung magka-Triforce na siya, okay na siya. But then, kung nagkaroon agad ng 2 items si Killer Tryndamere and then Triforce pa lang siya, parang wala na siyang mid damage spike. It's very
long.
Detrimental sa J2 Esports Betrayal. Though, Echo Cat has been getting good assists along Darthas having kills, but I don't know if that's going to be enough because Darthas going for a different build. Skirmisher Saber and Cinder Hulk. So he's going in for a Cinder Helm upgrade.
That's more for the tankiness, no?
Yeah, kasi Vi does have that shield and it stacks with her HP. So when she uses a skill, yung shield na yun depend kung gaano laki HP niya. But then I'm not a fan of going for early tank Vi. You want to get in for a Warrior's Enchantment because it gives Vi more damage, complements well with the denting blows and yung early assault battery. Also nga pala, assault battery before has, I believe, 400 damage, but okay.
Yeah, disengage in the top lane. Here's the exchange as well. The collateral damage has been used by Killer Tryndamere in the bottom lane, ngunit hindi enough to kill Corki dito.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying, I believe before yung damage output na
my gosh, Assaulted Battery has been used for Corozo in the top lane, and they have to disengage once again, of course. Almost there. 2 ultimate skill has been burned out by the members of Betrayal.
Yeah. Okay, so back to what I was saying again, yung Assaulted Battery was before, I believe, 300 damage, level 1 pa lang, or 250, but now it's 150, meaning that before, yung level 1 pa lang niya, sobrang nuke damage na yung ultimate niya. Now, it's a little bit not that strong, but still in terms of yung kanyang utility, still very good.
Oh my gosh, Takas na chasing down Corozo in the top lane. Nag-cooldown ng kanyang third skill dito, so he has to wait again to, of course, get assist that he wants in the top lane dito, mga kaibigan. Killer Tryndamere and as well as his support. Down, trying to go on the bottom lane, a flash out to disengage. Destiny has been used by Twisted Fate to stun Graves. He was exhausted. 1-1 exchange. Here comes the teleport as well from Corozo dito. He still has a glacial prison, to use that to crowd control their opponent. Yet again, they have to just push this tower instead of pushing another kill.
It wasn't the worst case scenario for...
Oh my gosh, okay. Fate has been bursted down.
Okay, so parang naging worst case scenario na. So, back to what I was saying. Yung kill na punta kay Love Cannon, so it didn't go to Tryndamere, but they got the assist and the bottom tier 1, so not the best, but still not the very worst in terms of yung gold trades. But they do lose yung map presence or map.
Oh my gosh! A glacial prison has been used for Eco Cut, and of course he will go down. Kai has been chasing down. He's being chasing down by Takas na dito. Darts as well here in the mid lane trying to kill Kai. They have to disengage, getting this first tier 30 in the mid lane, mga kaibigan. 3 vs 3 champion. And still patiently waiting for the right timing para sa team nila.
Yes.
Oh! The light binding connected to Takas na. And of course, because of that passive, mabilis lang yung crowd control for Aurelia.
Yes, and now again, with the bottom tier 1 just going down from J2 Esports, nagkakaroon ng big gap in terms of yung parang dragon area control. So they have to ward according to that. And also, nagsistart ng mag-scale si Killer Trendamir. He has the Infinity Edge and actually no boots. But in terms of yung completion ni Sativ the for the Trinity Force is still a long way because around 900 gold I believe.
Yes, the difference between the AD carries as well, no, yung gold nila, napakalaki ng pagkakaiba dito. They have the 400 or almost 1,200 yata if I'm not mistaken. Yung difference nila sa gold. So, lamang na napakalaking item o, 1,000 pala yung difference nila sa gold dito. So, I think katumbas yan ng pickaxe and pots or another boost dito. So, this is going to be very hard for Satir to get a comeback against Tryndamere and Love Cannon na bottom lane.
Yeah, though medyo mas nakakatakot kasi pag tinignan mo yung composition ng Empire X because they can get going early on, sobra. Because Korosu starts off with a Glacial Prison or Love Cannon with his ultimate, starts it off and then follow up, backline damage from Kai and Killer Tryndamere with the, again, yung sabi natin kanina na collateral damage.
Yes,
and
Dartas uses a Vault Breaker to engage another team fight dito. Wow! A good use of that shield! Narangan yung Aqua Prison. I mean, yung Tidal Wave coming from Nami. And they're being bursted down. Of course, a flash out coming from Takas na 2 for an exchange. They're still chasing him down. One more champion, mga kaibigan. And it's a 1 for 2. Betrayal na nga pa kanilang buhay dito. Take note, Dartas use his Vault Breaker. A flash in for Kai dito. Tam! Not enough HP to help his comrade, and they have to disengage. I think Betrayal can get the second dragon of the game.
Yes. Wow, that was a very good actually initiation by J2 Esports. Though I was wondering where the other members of Empire X were. Kai and Killer Tryndamere were a bit late to the party. Cannon and Tam were just there to defend for themselves. Napakaganda nung Unbreakable ni Love Cannon. He got so many blocks.
Yes,
Tidal Wave, yung Phosphorus Bomb, lots of the skill shots. But then, walang tumutulong sa kanya na damage dealer and that just break the clash for them. But
yes,
while that was happening though, Korosu in the top lane got the top tier 1, so it wasn't such a bad of a mistake, sabi natin, by Empire.
Very questionable din for Betrayal, no? Hindi sila nag-go for Dragon after what happened.
Yeah. Although I think they were a little bit scared na baka may final spark pa si Kai and they were a bit low. So Dragon could have tried and killed them. So that might have been one. But now they're going to get a free Dragon though. But oh, actually, I thought J2 were going to try and get a mid-tier 1 for this, but
it's not really good for the Betrayal, no? In terms of the objective, sobrang lugi sila. Oh, 2-man Glacial Prison and the final spark. Of course, looking at 2 champion for the members of Empire dito. A huge, beautifully executed for the members of Empire.
Grabe. They're just going in and lining up for these buffet ultimates.
Yes. The buffet ultimates coming from the Empire dito, no?
Grabe. Parang si Korosu yung magsabi, handa na ang pagkain, tapos final spark na lang, and then collateral damage.
Kumaga, eto na yung paghain ko, kayo ay kumain na lamang. So, that's pretty much it. That's the advantage that they have dito. The AoE crowd control, the AoE damage that they has, the collateral damage, the final spark, that's just too much for the members of Betrayal to handle. They only have 2 champion that na merong mga tanky items. Take note, hindi pa nag-Warriors Enchantment itong si Dartas.
So he's going in full tanky. So he has little damage or minimal damage to output. And what that says is that they're relying on Takasna, Echo Cat, and Sativ to do the damage for them. But the problem is, hindi makapasok si Echo Cat and Sativ because there's no frontline initiate. Na pag pumasok si Darthas, haharangan lang bigla ni Korosu and Tam, yung other members ng J2 Betrayal.
Even Twisted Fate is out-farmed as of the moment.
Oh yeah, he is. And right now, what I can see J2 Betrayal doing is to split push with Echo Cat and try to force Empire to go in and 5-man push a 1 lane, but then sobrang taas ng kanilang goal advantage na hindi kaya na mag-split push ng Echo Cat with having a good chance of having a 1v1 kasi lahat ng members ng Empire X, not including sabihin natin si Canon, can 1v1 Echo Cat right now. Because Echo Cat only has that Morella Nomicon and needlessly large shot. Wala pa siyang Sorcerer's Shoes, so meaning that he has no magic penetration or added mobility for himself.
Yes. So, ang dapat siguro dito for the Empire, no? Napakagandang pick for their team that they have a Lux champion na hindi dapat lumalapit sa mga team fights, and they have two sobrang mamang champion to tank up all the damage that Betrayal could give. Actually, 3 champion. They have Rek'Sai, they have Sejuani, and Brom dito. Kanina questionable bakit si Sejuani pinik nila, but right now we're looking at it, we're seeing that they're having the advantage dito. The good crowd control coming from their team is just too much for Betrayal to handle. So they have to do something dito, no? As much as possible, kailangan nilang pumik ng champion to win the upcoming team fights.
Yes. And now, looking at the vision control, you can see here that there's a very, very defensive line by J2 Esports Betrayal in their own jungle.
Wow! The burst damage coming from Empire dito. The Glacial Fissure has been used by Canon to pick up another champion. It's a 2 for an exchange. What a huge comeback. I mean, a good execution for their team dito. Once again.
And it looks like it's going to be an early push by Empire. This is a very...
they're not wasting any
He
time,
forced
no?
the flash of Echo Cat there and the Ghost. So this is a very nice strategy by Empire to try and just get the towers after you get the picks and...
Oh my gosh! AD carry versus the AP carry! And of course, you can't win kapag nagamit mo na lahat ng skill mo if ikaw ay isang AP carry dito.
Oy!
Wow! Hindi mo papatalo si Kai dito using that final spark to burst down sa team dito. And here comes the Destiny from Twisted Fate to gang the bottom lane. At hindi, magpupush na lang siya sa mid lane.
That was scary. I was expecting talaga na nagagamitin ni Kai yung ultimate niya agad-agad nung he was trying to 1v1 sa Tiv there. But hindi pa tapos yung cooldown. Though he just waited for like a few seconds and boom, matay si Sativ.
Right timing coming from Yoko Hai dito.
Yeah.
Yoko Hai, no? Yoko Kai?
Yohokai.
Yohokai.
Yeah.
Baliktad pala ako.
Okay. So, it's actually a very nice strategy here by J2 Esports na nag-award sila around their own jungle, but then they can't capitalize on anything with this because first of all, Empire X is just so ahead in terms of gold, and their type of engage is so... What's the term for it? So fluid na kahit sino pwede mag-engage and then may instant follow-up na lang na hindi maka-react fast enough on J2 Esports that they're losing just because of this team composition.
16-6 score as of the moment. Darta's trying to disengage using the Vault Breaker. At mukhang inahabol pa rin ng Team Empire dito. Naibig na kanya bahay bata. A flash out for Vi. And a disengage.
Yeah, could have gotten a kill there though, but forcing the flash out already means that Darthus loses more.
Oh my gosh, here comes the initiation once again. I think that's the strategy that Empire is doing up until now. Korosu will just engage a team fight. The final spark will follow up. And of course, an exchange for Betrayal dito. It's a 1-1. Here in the mid lane, just too much for Korosu dito. So much, I think, sobrang layo niya pag-extend niya doon sa laban na yun.
Yeah, and you have to give it to Fade for having those good bubbles.
Yes, here comes the Glacial Fissure for Canon, mga kaibigan, to disengage the other members of Betrayal. A follow-up by the members of Empire dito. Takas now will go down. Sativ as well is taking a lot of damage. He will try to kill Canon. Canon will go down. A Vault Breaker for Killer Tryndamere. A flash out. Take note, he still used that collateral damage to do a comeback in an exchange here in the jungle. A Twisted Fate, of course, mga kaibigan, Destiny for Tryndamere. And he will go down.
Yes.
At hindi pa tapos. Tam? No.
Yeah. He does survive. There we go. There's a replay. Alright, you can see right now that Glacial Fissure just comes up, knocks up Takas na. But here's the tricky thing. Alright, let's see. Let's get the sound errors. Alright, nag-stack up ng yung stun ni Brom. And then he was out of the clash. Agad-agad na lang. And then, Sativ just followed up. Nung he get the kill on the cannon, but he died himself. And then, yung kill talaga dun kay Tryndamere, Killer Tryndamere onto Darthus using in that buckshot and collateral damage combo. Look at
I think
bang.
nag-critical siya eh. Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
critical after the collateral damage. Medyo malakas lang nga yung medyo malakas nga lang yung volume ng ating in-play kanina.
Little
So,
bit loud there, so sorry about that, guys.
29 score, 3 dragon stack for the members of Empire dito. Silvetrea trying to think what they have to do, what they need to do to get a comeback to win this game. But I think, in terms of lineup, hindi naman sila ganun kalugi, pero ang pinakamahirap lang for their team is they only have the single target crowd control. They have the Vault Breaker, they have the Assault and Battery for Vi that could only lock up one champion. They have Irelia as well, one champion lang kaya niya ma-stun, and the pick a card coming from Twisted Fate dito. The only champion na meron sila na may AoE crowd control ay si Nami with this Tidal Wave.
Yeah, but Tidal Wave can only knock you up for like quarter of a second, and then babagsak ka na agad. And, well, hindi siya yung effective form of pick-off na gustong sabihin natin makuha ng J2. Because, yeah, they could get a knock-up, but then, sino yung knock-up? Yung mga tanks lang nila, diba? So, ang pinaka-reliable source talaga na dito is yung Assault and Battery, and possibly a 3-man bubble if they can get something like that, and give Sativ enough time to free hit, they might have a chance in the team fights. But then, sobrang, kakasabi ko kanina, parang flexible ng composition initiation ng Empire X na Glacial Fission ni Braum first, Glacial Prison ba una ni Sejuani, Knock Up ni Tam, or Light Binding ni Kai, and just follow up from that. Kasi parang 1:1:1:1, then get kills, and that's it. And look at that, it's been so effective for them. Almost 10,000 in terms of the gold lead. 3 dragons. 2 more aspect of the dragon. Baron is up. If they could push out all the outer turrets, this is a possible objective for them. Or just keep on what they're doing, because J2 Esports have no answer for this. And even though yung push into the inner turrets is one of the hardest things, this composition by Empire X makes it easier for them to get picks, and because they're so tanky, they can soak up the damage from the tier 3 towers.
As of the moment, I'm still thinking why Kai decided to go for Azonia's Hourglass na medyo napapansin naman natin na hindi siya gano'n nalalapitan. As of the moment, 807 pa rin ang score niya.
Yeah.
Usually yung mga pro player natin dito na notable pro player na beat lane is hindi kumukuha ng mga defensive item.
Unless
yes, like situational, pero I think for a Lux champion, like looking at their lineup, they have so much tankiness na kailangan talaga nila.
Yeah. I think I would have preferred either a second Morella Nomicon or isang Void Staff.
Void Staff would help them. I think that could secure a kill once tumama yung Glacial Prison coming from Korosu mamaya sa upcoming team fight. But still, good idea. Having the 567 AP as of the moment. They're getting the blue buff for the Betrayal. So, it's about time to initiate the team fight dito. Vault Breaker for Dartas. Hindi siya aware na merong 4 na member dito. Actually, yes, they have 4 member. A teleport coming from Korosu. Wow, a 2-man Glacial Prison and a Glacial Fissure as well. The final spark will surely secure a burst in damage. Takas na trying to disengage. Smited by Tam dito. It's a 2-for non-exchange. They're still chasing them down. Cannon has been knocked up with that Aqua Prison.
Yeah, saying that tama na.
Tama.
Sobrang dami ng knockups and CC. Alright, you can see right here, it was such a perfect teleport there by Korosu that nagkaroon agad sila ng instant fix, and then it just followed through. Darthus tried to do what he can, but he has no backup from his carries. They were so zoned out by Korosu that they were around the wall of the blue sentinel. Hindi sila makapasok and deal damage, and that just gave the Baron for them and possibly the 4th dragon. And with this Baron buff, actually, they have enough firepower to just walk straight into the base of Jade Betrayal, destroy the tier 3s, get the inhibitors, and finish off this game, because I don't see a way Jade Betrayal can get back from this, because there's just so much inconsistency with their team fights and with their composition. So I think they have to think about their next game and say to themselves, we need a composition that has good AoE, good team fight oriented compositions, objective control as well, and push if ever, and just learn from this game, because
Sobrang laking problema dito for
Oo.
them if ever na magpatuloy yung ganito klase ng playstyle coming from their team. Right now, it's all because of the crowd control that Empire have or has dito sa laban nila. So I think it's going to be very hard for Betrayal to get a comeback at this rate. So all they have to do is, like what you said, think about what champion that they should use later on. So 4th Dragon for the members of Empire dito, still trying to push this game, trying to end this game as of the moment. They can surely get this turret na since they have the Baron buff. Ang medyo impressive lang dito for the Empires, as of the moment, they're still playing it very safe.
yes.
Kahit na sobrang lamang sila, as much as possible, we have to pick one champion, we have to disengage after that. And here comes the initiation once again. The final spark will burst that down. The other members of Betrayal dito, 1 champion, 2 champion will go down. Takastas take a lot of damage. Still a double kill for Yohokai. And Nami will take a lot of damage as well. It's a 3 for 1 in favor of the Empire. They can just end this game.
Yeah. Also, you saw there that there was a surrender already. So that's it.
That's pretty much it for our second game sa ating PGS 2015 Summer Promotion match between Empire versus the Betrayal.
Wow, grabe. Sobrang intense talaga. Okay, what is this error message coming up?
So, napakahaba.
Oo nga eh. No time to read that. Alright, so let's just straight onto the graphs. Damage dealt to champions. Of course, it's going to be sabihin natin yung pangalan niya talaga ngayon kasi he deserves it. Yohokai.
Wow,
With the
imagine.
insane picks. But props to his teammates for setting up such a good composition that it revolves around Yohokai and Killer Tryndamere that free hits sila palagi throughout the game. Though, props din sa J2 Esports Betrayal for trying to systematically turtle yung game, but then their composition really can't scale well into the late game because they had no form of disengage, had no AoE CC, only had those pick-off type of compositions, but it didn't work well for them, and Empire X just capitalized so well. Talagang napaka-methodical ng game na yun para sa kanila.
It was, kudos to the synergy coming from Kurosu and Yohokai dito as well as si Tam, no? But I think overall, it was all because of this, the Glacial Prison Final Spark combo. They could just pick up a champion, they could just kill a champion dito, and then they can win the upcoming team fight, getting the dragon after that, and win the game.
Yes. So guys, that was Game 2 in this Best of 3 series. 1-4-1 na ang J2 Esports Betrayal against Empire X.
I think, pwede ba natin mahingi yung updates ng mga
other teams? Oh yeah, right. Also before that, again, I forgot, I would like to invite you guys to join the PGS Rift G-Talk. Again, the G-Talk ID is 171-88811. That's 171-88811. If you want to, be able to talk to some of the pro players and have a family of your own na naglalaro ng League of Legends.
So sa lahat ng mga gusto magpa-deliver, alam na ang tawagan ninyo, 171-88811. So join lang kayo sa ating PGS Rift.
Oh yeah. Also for the members or any of my sabihin nag-like nung GS Azurai page, friend ko sa Facebook ko, or sa PGS Ref, may nag-post ako kanina, shout-out forms, Google Forms yun. So if you want your name to be...
Shout-out forms?
Yeah, shout-out. Para medyo formal na and organized.
Yes.
Just click onto the link. You need to have a Google account because I'm trying to minimize yung parang pag-spam ng name nyo. Kasi, syempre, daming tao eh. So, once per account lang. And then, just wait. After the whole set, we will shout out your names. Sabihin niyo kung gusto niyo si Poging GG Sphere or si Asaray lang.
Yun.
Regular Asaray.
Regular Asaray. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Meron pa tayong next game mamaya.
Yes.
So again, you're watching the PGS 2015 Summer Season promotional matches. I am GG Sphere.
And I'm just Asaray.
See you later.